Maybe your city or town has a 30-foot big nickel. Maybe your city or town has a 1,250-foot chimney. Maybe your city or town has a science center shaped like a snowflake.
Everyone's hometown has landmarks. Every person in a town or city is connected to that town or city in some way, whether born and raised or having spent many years there. We often identify with landmarks in our city, and some of these landmarks are more common than others. An arguably forgotten early landmark in my hometown of Sudbury, Ontario, Canada is Queen's Athletic Field.
And it all started here. My connection, my family's connection with the city of Sudbury all starts right here in the historic Queen's Athletic Field.
Why is Queen's Athletic Field such a pivotal landmark in this city's history? We must first understand how Sudbury came to be. The CPR, Canadian Pacific Railway, covers over 20,000 kilometers from Montreal to Vancouver. It was first established in 1881 and took 4 years to build. It was Canada's first transcontinental railway. In 1883, the CPR was being constructed in Sudbury. Blasting and excavation revealed high concentrations of nickel and copper, and for that reason, Sudbury was established as a mining town. The CPR allowed for the shipment of these commodities to markets and ports. As construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway continued, the current site of Queen's Athletic Field was a 6-acre gravel pit, which included spring-fed water. This water was used for drinking water by CPR and local residents. My great-great-grandfather, Nazir Collin, and my great-great-uncles, Joseph and Jacob Collin, used to haul this water by horse and buggy down to the CPR station from Queen's Athletic Field. In 1891, the local Board of Health began looking into concerns that at the spring in the gravel pit was becoming a laundry tub for residents. This was especially concerning because the purity of the water source needed to be protected, as it was also supplying the Sudbury Malting and Brewing Company, which would later become Northern Breweries. Around that same time, my cousin Louis Joseph, or LJ Jodouin, owned Steam Soda Waterworks, supplying Sudbury with mineral waters, ginger ale, and soda water. LJ would eventually sell his successful soda water company in the early 1900s, and once again, my family would be connected with the CPR as LJ started a new company, LJ Jodouin Natural Ice Company. This company would supply ice to the CPR as Sudbury became the hub for passengers going west. In 1930, then Mayor Peter Fenton envisioned the CPR 6-acre gravel pit and its natural sloping sides as a natural bowl for an athletic park. With the support of council, but not all the people of Sudbury, the city purchased the land and Sudbury Athletic Park was born. Early on, criticism of the athletic field remained, as 10% of all gates were turned over to the city along with a rental fee, and the park was considered to be out of town in those days, given its West End location. After the Sudbury Cub Wolves won the Memorial Cup in 1932, a celebration was held at the park, and that enhanced its popularity with locals. In 1939, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth toured all of Canada to emphasize the strong bond between Canada and Britain in the shadow of a looming World War II. On June 5th, the King and Queen were welcomed to Sudbury at Athletic Park with approximately 25,000 people in attendance. After this historic visit, Athletic Park was renamed Queen's Athletic Field. By 1940, the field started making money from rentals, and in 1946, construction of wooden bleachers adjacent to the grandstand were built at a cost of just over $5,000. In 1947, floodlights were installed at a cost of over $14,000. As Mayor Fenton had once envisioned in 1930, Queen's Athletic Field became the center of sports in Sudbury, and none was bigger than baseball, averaging 4,000 to 5,000 fans per game through the 1940s and 50s. During this time, there was a huge emphasis on sports in Sudbury. Many other sports, events, and gatherings were held at Queen's Athletic Field. It was the place where the community came together.